Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brianna Bridges, and as President of National Honor Society, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone here tonight. On behalf of the current membership of the Homewood Flossmoor chapter of the National Honor Society, I would like to welcome our new members and their families and friends watching this evening. I would also like to thank our school board president, Mr. Steve Anderson, who is here with us this evening and would like to address our students.
Thank you, Brianna. Good evening. I'm Steve Anderson from the HF Board of Education. Thank you to Ms. Brennan and the rest of the staff and administration who are responsible for putting tonight's event together as we do our best to achieve some normal activities this spring. The board would like to congratulate the new inductees to the National Honor Society and recognize the continued accomplishments of the existing membership. We're extremely proud of you. You and your family should take great pride in what you've done to be recognized this evening as NHS members. Seniors, we wish you the best as you move on to your next chapters, and underclassmen, we look forward to watching you grow and achieve great things as leaders within the school. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Also in attendance this evening is Dr. Vaughn Mansfield, Superintendent, and Dr. Jerry Anderson, Principal. Dr. Mansfield would also like to address our students.
Thank you, Brianna. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here this evening for this very special occasion. And congratulations to all of our students for all your dedication over these years that have culminated into your induction into this very prestigious organization. I would also like to acknowledge our parents and guardians who are in the audience for your extraordinary efforts in supporting your students and your patients through all of the things that I'm sure you had to experience. But at the end, it turned out to be a wonderful accomplishment for everyone. So again, just congratulations. And thank you to Mrs. Brennan and the National Honor Society Executive Board for putting together this program. You guys have done a phenomenal job. And I think as you see our presentation, it would be almost like you're right there. So thank you for joining us virtually. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank our special guest, Ms. Anjali Kumar, one of our former graduates here from Homewood Flossmoor High School, who I think you're going to thoroughly enjoy. So once again, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Mansfield. Dr. Anderson, our principal, will now address our students.
Dr. Anderson, I believe you are on mute.
Thank you for joining us virtually this evening. I am so proud of the achievement in the service that exemplifies our HF National Honor Society. Congratulations to those being inducted tonight, and thank you to those who are currently members. I am extending my virtual handshake and hugs to each of you.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. The support and guidance from our school board and administration is crucial to the success of NHS. Our purpose in being here tonight is to honor and celebrate the induction of our members. Membership in the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities held in high esteem by the organization. Our current officers will take a moment to speak about each of these. Please join me in welcoming our secretary, Lena Fantroy, who will now introduce the 4 pillars of NHS: character, leadership, scholarship, and service.
Welcome and good evening to everyone that was able to join us to share this special moment. Despite the unforeseen events that took place this year, we made it. I'm so honored to be able to commend everyone on their success in the National Honor Society and share my experiences with them. To narrate my story, I'm going to share my personal testimonies that reflect each of the important pillars of the National Honor Society. One day at a leadership meeting, I was asked to write a speech introducing the 4 pillars and what they mean to me as a member of NHS. For a minute, my mind went blank, but suddenly my mind began racing with a million answers. The National Honor Society has helped to build me in 4 main areas: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Being in the International Baccalaureate program, I've always had a thirst for knowledge. But it's programs such as the National Honor Society that help further grow and develop individuals. I have learned not to fear the unknown, but instead embrace it to find innovative solutions, even if they don't work at first. It has become less of just doing the work to leave a good grade and more about going above and beyond to be a true scholar. Paying attention to the NHS Pillar Scholarship, I learned that this is what scholarship is. Building a unique mindset that can be explained with just an ABCD answer. When I joined NHS as a sophomore, I was more focused on finishing the hour requirement than the actual activity. But as I got older, I saw the value in the service we were doing. This year, for the MLK Day of Service, I had the opportunity to volunteer at the PAS shelter located at the Flossmoor Community Church. This was a life-changing experience for me. I knew about PAS before, but I didn't know to the extent that they were changing lives of the misfortunate for the better. Here, men were given fresh shelter, opportunities for entertainment, and even haircuts. The joy and relief in exchange for the passion the PAS community and volunteers created was present all throughout the room. I was amazed and honored to be a part of this. My dad always told me, one hand to receive the blessings and the others to give the blessings back to help others. This resonated with me as I was blessed with opportunities afforded to me by my NHS membership, but I was also able to give these blessings back through service to grow our community. My junior year, I realized the strong positive impact NHS had on me and decided to run for Secretary of NHS. I was grateful and honored when I was elected as the Secretary. Aside from countless hours of entering service logs, this position is so much more than that. I get the opportunity to see the contributions that everyone has made in service. I am overjoyed seeing students volunteering 100 hours over the summer at wonderful institutions like museums in Chicago, or even our local institutions, such as the Homewood Science Center, or even the local libraries. Students have shown their interest in the importance of NHS through this. As a leader, this has taught me efficiency, timely management, and consistency because I knew the importance of getting in these hours for the students. Growing up, my parents would always express to me the importance of maintaining peace and preserving humanity. My mom would drill into me deferred gratification. I did my best to treat everyone with the same respect and help uplift those who are picked on. I find joy especially in helping kids with math. When I tutor, there's a teacher that always refers to me as the aggressive tutor. I received this name because I never give up on kids or stop working with them until they fully understand the math concepts. I always get extra materials to make sure that all kids can succeed the same, regardless if they need extra help or not. In this program, I realized that my character wasn't just my actions, but instead a reflection of NHS. NHS is more than just a high accolade upon graduation. Instead, I've come to realize that it is a breeding ground for innovative, goal-driven students looking to change the world through dedication of service, leadership, scholarship, and character. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Now that I have introduced each of the four pillars, each of the officers will now present each pillar in more detail. Please join me in welcoming our Public Relations Officer, Kennedy Jones, who will now speak more on the pillar of character.
To begin, I'd like to congratulate all the students here today on their achievements. Juniors and seniors, sophomores and juniors, welcome to the National Honor Society. Seniors, we made it. 4 long, long years and we finally reached the end. I don't know about you all, but I am tired. Today, I'm here to talk with you about the most abstract of the 4 NHS pillars, character. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Character is like a tree and reputation is like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, and the tree is the real thing." Now, given this audience, many of us know what high school is like and are familiar with how reputation can be completely out of our control. It can be good, bad, ugly, or even beautiful. No matter what this reputation reads, though, we must remain true to our character. As people, our character defines who we are. It defines our actions, our choices, and our personalities. As we grow, our views may change, and our character may develop another branch or layer, but we are still filled with similar motivations and goals despite the difference played by society or our reputation. At our core, we are still a group of leaders who care deeply about our community and will stop at nothing to provide a better tomorrow for those around us. Regardless of whatever image or reputation we may have developed, you're here today not only because of who you are now, but who you will become. Just like the tree, you will continue to beautifully flourish no matter what time of day it is. The advice I'd like to leave you with today is simple. Be the tree. As members of the National Honor Society, it is our job to set this example. Be firm in our beliefs and stand up for what is right, no matter the circumstance or repercussions. Our reputation is ever-changing, something ultimately out of our control. But our character is what we will be remembered for years to come. Again, congratulations to our new inductees and our graduating seniors. Thank you. Please help me welcome our president, Brianna Bridges, who will speak on the pillar of leadership.
Thank you. Hopper from A Bug's Life once said, "The first rule of leadership is that everything is your fault." When you're a leader, people rely on you and turn to you for guidance. Therein lies the true difficulty. When I finally lay down for the night and one of my classmates reaches out to me for homework help, sometimes I regret being a leader, but it all proves to be worth it when I see the relief wash over their face. Leadership entails accountability, resilience, humility, confidence, and integrity. Leaders help themselves and others to do the right thing, no matter how difficult it may seem. Leaders are not commanders, for they inspire others to be the best version of themselves. Leaders set their sight on a goal and motivate those with whom they collaborate. Leaders can be the loudest or the quietest in the room, but they always attract people based on the example they set. That being said, members of our National Honor Society embody what it means to be a leader. This past October, Nala King put together a presentation dispelling many common misconceptions surrounding voting, and she used her position in the League of Women Voters to share valuable information with NHS members. In fact, many seniors believed they could not vote in the primary election unless they were 18, but Nala informed us that you can vote in the primary in the state of Illinois if you're 17, as long as you turn 18 by the presidential election. In November, Camille Willis, Micaiah Jenkins, Haley Rampage, Jack Prokop, and I researched children's literacy and presented our findings at our chapter meeting. This year, we decided to donate books from our annual book drive to Bernie's Book Bank, a local nonprofit organization. With the help of HF's Friends of the Library Club and the Redbird Cafe in Homewood, not only were we able to surpass 4,000 books, we were able to unite as a community as well. None of it would be possible without the members of our leadership team. These are just a couple of examples of the ingenuity that is readily employed by the members of our chapter. At our monthly meetings, we delve into complex and layered topics such as food scarcity, climate change, and discrimination based on race, gender, and sexuality. These issues are currently magnified given the unprecedented times we are facing, but I am not worried. With the ambitious and innovative leaders viewing this ceremony, I know that we will achieve the unthinkable and be an unstoppable force of change. Please help me welcome our Media Specialist Officer, Eliana Dostici, who will speak on the pillar of scholarship.
Thank you, and good afternoon. My name is Eliana Dostici, and as Brianna said, I'm the Media Specialist of NHS. In years past, NHS members meet once a month for a briefing about volunteer hours, upcoming projects, and other housekeeping subjects. And while we still cover that information in our meetings, we tried something new this year. At each of our meetings, the leadership representatives would create a presentation about an issue in our local, national, or international community. These subjects varied from highlighting those in the African American community who fought hard for a better future, to showing the lack of reading materials for kids around the world, or the project I was able to work on, the significance and history of the LGBTQ+ community. When I was researching this project, I had a little trouble connecting it back to the community service NHS club I was going to present to. I was in charge of explaining the difference between the different terms in that community before we went into the rest of our historical and societal aspect of our presentation. As I started to learn the meanings of gender fluidity and transgender, bisexual and bigender, I realized that many of my fellow members were maybe in the situation I was in. I'm familiar with the regular acronym of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, but I didn't realize how large the community really was. If I didn't fully know about the people I was volunteering for, I couldn't fully give myself to that volunteer service. That is why I believe that scholarship is so important in the pillars of National Honor Society. This organization still encourages good grades in school, but thanks to Ms. Brennan, the efforts of the leadership team, and the members of NHS, we now have dozens of young people who know more about pressing issues facing many people around the world today. Thanks to scholarship, we can educate the community about these issues and spread awareness. We can understand the reason and necessity behind the projects we are putting our time and effort into. We can truly feel we are making an impact on our present community, but also the future of our society. Thank you. Please help me welcome our Community Outreach Officer, Taylor Harvey, who will speak more on the pillar of service.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Taylor Harvey, and I have had the honor of serving as the Community Outreach Chair this past school year. While I am almost certain everyone knows the value of giving back, whether it be something as minute as helping someone cross the street, or something as thought out as starting your own foundation to assist those in need, not many discuss the impact it can have on your own life. At the age of 3, I became a Girl Scout. Since then, I have participated in a multitude of service events and joined numerous organizations committed to bettering our communities. At the time, I would just focus on those I was assisting, whether it be animals in a shelter, senior citizens, or those without a home. But it would not occur to me the impact that they would have on my own life. The smiles and the advice given to me over the past few years has assisted in shaping me into the person I am today. Giving back to your community is not just about receiving an extra credit or another bullet on your college resume. Service is about compassion, and it teaches you to treasure the little things in life. It is about generosity and willing to dedicate just a portion of your time to alleviate someone else's concerns. NHS, most importantly, the Homewood Flossmoor chapter of NHS has taught me that service is not about working with others to bettering, is not just about working with others to better your communities, but also sculpting yourself into the best version of you. To the incoming members, congratulations on being invited to this prestigious organization. And to my fellow seniors, well, we made it. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Anjali Kumar, part of the HF class of 1990. Ms. Kumar is an author, advisor, attorney, speaker, and idea acupuncturist. Ms. Anjali Kumar works with entrepreneurs and C-level executives in all stages of business, focusing on early-stage tech, consumer products, and luxury fashion companies with a social conscience. She recently founded an advisory firm focusing on legal counsel and business strategy for entrepreneurs, executives, talent, and brands. Prior to that, Ms. Kumar was the founding chief people officer and general counsel at Cheddar, the founding head of social innovation and founding general counsel at Warby Park, founding general counsel at Acumen, and senior counsel at Google. While at Google, Anjali created and hosted the Google Speaker Series on the NYC campus, bringing Googlers from around the globe face-to-face with today's most prominent and innovative thought leaders, including Anthony Bourdain, Questlove, and Jacques Pepin, and hosted a YouTube interview series, Lunchtime at Google. Anjali's 2017 TED Talk, based on her book, Stalking God, My Unorthodox Search for Something to Believe in, has been watched by over 4 million people across the world and translated into over 20 languages. A television show based on her book is in development. Anjali earned her BA in Biomedical Ethics from Brown University and a JD from Boston University School of Law. She is an adjunct professor at Columbia Business School and Fordham University and continues to advise nonprofit organizations, including Malala Fund and IDEO.org. In 2016, she was appointed by Mayor Bill de Blasio to join the NYC Children's Cabinet Advisory Board and the Board of Directors of Grow NYC. Anjali currently serves on the Board of Directors of Happy Money, Women's World Banking, Amplifier, Edible Schoolyard NYC, POV, Glow Science Professional, and the Guggenheim Museum's Global Innovation Council. Anjali currently lives in New York City and upstate New York with her husband and dog. Without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing tonight's speaker, Ms. Anjali Kumar.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be speaking with you today, especially because I never actually made it into the National Honor Society as a student at HF back in the 90s. This is literally the closest I'm ever going to get. So thank you to the teachers and student leadership for asking me to join you for what I know is not the graduation or induction ceremony you had planned on. So when I was initially asked pre-global pandemic, I was really excited to do this live and in person. I haven't been back to HF since I graduated, not for reunions or homecoming or anything else. And I figured this would give me a chance to visit my parents, see one of my old teachers, Mr. McCarthy, who I understand is retiring this year, share a little bit about what I've learned over the past 30 years, and then fly back to New York. But then the world changed. When your teachers asked me to come and do this speech in a recording, my initial response was, well, maybe this is better left for another year. But as I started to think about it, I realized speaking to you now might be exactly what I was meant to do. Because here's the thing. Graduating from high school meant everything to me. Prom, not so much. I was a nerdy Indian kid. But that aside, I was basically like, see ya, HF, the world is waiting. I'm out of here. So I can't even imagine what you're all experiencing right now. You followed the rules, you met the requirements, you're ready to go off to places like Brown and Howard and Georgia State to become doctors and lawyers and teachers and change the world. And instead, you're spending a lot of time on computer screens without your friends and wondering whether your first semester of college will take place in your childhood bedrooms. Let's be honest, this sucks. But here's the truth that I've come to share with you. You are actually going to be more prepared than any graduating class in history. Because the idea of certainty of the single path ahead that I graduated high school with wasn't real. And it took me 30 years to figure that out. So the gift of this moment is that you're grappling with that uncertainty right now. So up until this point, you've been told what to do and when to do it to be successful. Following the rules is likely what got you here, but now the rules of the game are changing. The chessboard has been turned on its side and we're all left wondering how to move the pieces around. So I believe I was asked to talk to you today because I've made a career out of being curious. And my willingness to explore the unexpected led me far beyond the path I imagined for myself when I was 17. So I always assumed I would be a doctor. My dad was a doctor, all his friends were doctors. The thinking was, number one, there will always be sick people, job security. And number two, if people need you, they won't discriminate against you. As a person of color, that was a real concern. So I was pre-med at Brown. I completed all my coursework, but I just wasn't interested. So my first major act of professional and personal rebellion against my parents was to become not a doctor, but a lawyer. So you can tell what a nerd I was in high school. So I took the LSAT on a whim, and I did well enough to go to law school. I really liked that sense of fairness and injustice. I liked being in uncharted territory. And that was the beginning of this journey that I've been on ever since, from drinking volcanic water with a shaman in Peru, to being a lawyer at Google, to taking stand-up comedy classes in New York City, and working an unpaid internship in an Italian kitchen. I let go of a certain career path in favor of being nimble and following my curiosity, and I've never regretted it. Looking back, which is a basic requirement of graduation speeches of any kind, there are a few things I wish I knew when I graduated HF 30 years ago. So number one, it is okay not to have a singular passion. So every piece of advice I was given my entire education and career went something like this. Find your passion, make it your purpose. Basically, pick one thing, do it really well to the exclusion of everything else. That is the recipe for success. But from an early age, that didn't sit well with me. After years of worrying I was bouncing from one thing to another, that I might be confusing motion with accomplishment, I realized that I was actually multi-passionate. So becoming a doctor was largely about security. My parents wanted me to be able to take care of myself, but I've done that. Following multiple interests, often at the same time, hasn't stopped me from paying the bills or from being happy. Number two, following your curiosity can lead to unexpected places. So after 9/11, the law firm I worked for, like so many businesses in New York, was slow. I had always been interested in design and how things got made and sold, so I started tinkering with making handbags. I invested about 10 years in my own line, mostly as a side hustle, and the bags actually ended up being carried by Sarah Jessica Parker in not one, but 2 episodes of Sex and the City. So you're too young to know that show, but trust me, it was major. Your parents can vouch for me. But stay with me now, because that's not the interesting part of the story. When I was recruited to apply for a position at Google a few years later, I took my handbag line off my resume, and the recruiter asked me to put it back on. He said, "It shows you're entrepreneurial. You have the ability to figure things out." So I never imagined making handbags would help me get a job at Google, but that's exactly what happened. It's definitely at least one of the reasons I got offered the job. But before I took it, I had to do a little soul searching, which brings me to number 3. There's more than one way to change the world. So I'll never forget pulling into the parking lot in Mountain View, California for my 3rd round interview at Google. I called my husband and I said, I can't do this. So at this point, I was working for a poverty-fighting nonprofit in New York City, and Google felt like I was going into the belly of the corporate beast. My husband said, just get out of the car and go in. You don't have to take the job, but you do have to walk inside the building. And to my surprise, I found my people. It was then that I realized creativity comes in all different shapes and sizes. The engineers were some of the most creative people I had ever met. Their creativity just came out in code. They were artists. They were changing the world, and I almost turned them down before I even walked into the building. Those 6 years were some of the best of my career, and they were never part of my plan. So now, before the parents listening get too nervous, let me be clear. Curiosity has been my superpower. It may not be yours. So I'm not suggesting that you abandon your plans or your focus, but I am asking you to push the bounds of your belief about what this moment of uncertainty has to offer. You haven't just lost major rites of passage. You're witnessing the world mourn the loss of the people they love and the upending of our economy, our educational, and our healthcare systems. You're grappling with rising inequality and the daily questioning of the unknown. If you're dreaming of becoming a doctor or an immigration lawyer or an engineer, your dream may have to get a little bigger now. When the internet has to be free for kids to get an education and doctors become more dependent on telehealth, when staying home means the difference between life and death, the questions we ask about the future must evolve, and so must the path we take to answer them. If I had written my plan for this journey that I've been on when I was about to graduate, many would have said I was drifting. But today, I advise companies and entrepreneurs on everything from early stage tech to consumer products with a social conscience. I'm doing exactly what I love. Curiosity isn't going to grab you by the shoulders and shake you to get your attention. It's not something you can major in. It may be something more subtle than that. Right now, people keep talking about the new normal, but it's not normal. It's just new. Embrace it. If you are nimble, if you can get as comfortable with uncertainty as you are with the straight race to the prize, you will persevere. And it might not even take you 30 years to do it. You're in the Honor Society, after all. You guys have a head start. Congratulations, class of 2020. I can't wait to see what you all do next. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a gift of recognition for our distinguished guest speaker, Anjali Kumar, that we would like to present to her. HF has a poster series featuring our spectacular alumni that can be found all around campus. We have created one for Ms. Kumar, and we look forward to promoting her accomplishments next year to inspire our student body.
Thank you, Brianna. I'm going to go ahead and make a statement for our seniors. This is quite an unusual experience. Usually this is a very joyous moment where our seniors are getting up and cheering. So I wanted to just start by acknowledging some of the feelings that you may be experiencing right now. I realize some of you may have some disappointment, some concern, some frustration. And I just want to empathize that I realize a lot of the celebrations that we were planning at the end of this year aren't quite what we expected. We're still doing them, but they're not as you anticipated. They're not as you thought that they would be. And again, as Ms. Kumar has mentioned, there's a lot of uncertainty about the year that's ahead. And in my experience, when we are uncertain, that produces anxiety or concern. So what I did want to acknowledge for my seniors is that we're at a time where everybody is being asked to make major adjustments in their life. And what I find to be particularly challenging to my seniors is that you're being asked to make adjustments to your life at a time when you are eager and enthusiastic to demonstrate your independence and autonomy. So just as you're ready to leave your home and make a life of your own, all of a sudden you're being asked to possibly change or reconsider your plans or make major adjustments that you hadn't anticipated making. So I do want to just acknowledge that high school graduation, while some people may think that it's not quite the rite of passage as it used to be, to me, I see high school graduation as one of life's most significant transitions. Now, I know that most of you have not considered yourself children for a number of years, but when you graduate high school, it marks the official end of your childhood and the official beginning of your adulthood. Once you are 18, you are your own legal guardian. You can vote, you can serve in the military. You are an adult, and this is one of the most significant transitions of your life. So I don't really know what the future holds for us. I wish I did, but I do not. But there is some certainty that I have, and I would like to say that I am positive and completely confident that my seniors that are graduating have the capability to weather any storm that comes in their way. Many times when I'm working at HF, I will find that the favorite part of my day is working with my NHS students. Usually that's with my leadership board because I have the opportunities to see them the most, but also just in the many emails and visits that I get from all of my other members. And here's what I've learned about my NHS members. You stand apart. You stand apart from your peers, and you also stand apart just on your own. So when I tried to think of a way to describe my seniors, I had to actually make a list that I'm going to read from so that I don't forget anything. But you are kind, creative, enthusiastic to learn, optimistic, confident, community-minded, altruistic, resilient, and ready to lead. And that is what I see with my interactions with my NHS students day in and day out. And what I do want to say with complete confidence is that class of 2020, you have the skills, the wisdom, and the level-headedness that I would expect from a group of already accomplished adults. And in some cases, you have more than what I have experienced with accomplished adults. So what I would like to say is that while things are uncertain, I am positive that my class will assert themselves in this world. I am positive that you will do everything that you have intended to set out to do. The timetables may not be what you expected. Some of the details may be different, but in the long run, you have the resiliency to weather any storm, and you will be just as successful, if not more. So thank you, seniors of 2020.
It is now time to announce the recipients of our service awards. Our secretary, Lena Fantroy, will honor the recipient.
When the board and I were going over potential service award candidates, one student immediately caught our eye on the spreadsheet with over 300 hours of service. But for this student, their action was more than just the hours. When I interviewed this student, she informed me that she dedicated her entire summer to 5 to 9-year-olds from Fort Heights that don't have access to the same opportunities a student from a neighborhood like ours would. She admitted she was disheartened at what she saw and how community members and teachers were treated. This student organized not only educational games, but also ways to improve their diets and also ways to just stay healthy. This student's dedication is even reflected every day in social media, as the sole statement in her Instagram bio is, "Service inspired change." Wow. I am honored to give this year's service award to service superstar Maya Harrell.
Well done, Maya. It is at this time that we traditionally honor our graduating seniors. Seniors have earned the distinction of wearing a gold cord with their graduation cap and gown to represent their scholarship, service to the community, and overall character. The gold cord represents the successful completion of their NHS obligations. Due to the virtual nature of our ceremony, gold cords have been delivered with the caps and gowns. Ms. Brennan would like to make some personal remarks before we begin announcing the names.
Again, seniors, I just want to thank you, and this is a big congratulatory moment. So I just want to say, wish you all the best.
We will now honor each of our seniors. First, I would like to honor and thank our senior representatives, who are essential members of our leadership board. Our senior representatives are Macy Campen, Lawrence Cook IV, Micaiah Jenkins, Deja Johnson, Haley Rampage, John Russell, and Haley Sawyer. Thank you for your service and leadership. Our remaining senior members are Wilhelmina Aboyeji, Alicia Adams, Selena Adetunji, Jeremiah Alfred, Layla Allen, Nicholas Amu, Journey Barsh, Margaret Bauer, Cheyenne Bennett, Louis Berman, Kevin Berner II, Ella Bowman, Rebecca Brandt, Jania Breland, Tamara Butler, Jaleel Cannon, Kevin Colley, Ann Cheney, Sarah Chevalier, Erica Cottrell, Ariel Davis, Brooke Deckelman, Lily Donkel, Amber Dowd, Mia Dyson.
Uriah Elliott, Boaz Epperson, Olivia Portman, Xavier Frazier, Ava Freeman, Michael Garrity, Jacob Goldberg, Devin Gordon, Larkin Hangerman, Andrew Henson, Troy Harbin, Maya Harrell, Bria Harris, Michelle Hearn, Stephen Hinnich, Caleb Court, Liam Hughes, Joshua Hare, Jack Hurley, Gloria Echo, Jazz Jubilani, Caitlin Jackson, Carolyn Johnson, Danielle Johnson, Journey Johnson, Destiny Johnson, Ava Jones, Lena Jersa.
Duffy Karstrom, Adekemi Kasali, Grace Keir, Jasmine Kelly, Nala King, Julia Coyne, Jonathan Kirakis, Isaac Latman, Luke Lisimple, Elizabeth Lipscomb, Layla London, Kyla Luna, Miles Matia, Nathaniel Martinez, Raina McCoy, Samari Meeks, Fiorella McKellis, Mia Moore, Noel O, Abibola Olifeso, Carolyn Page, Caden Paris, Emily Pierce, Eric Piros, John Port, Kayla Polk, Aranda Porter, Jaden Powell Cork.
Eliza Rex, Janelle Roach, Madison Schneider, Kai Schonkweiler, Leah Sidbury, Aria Simpson, Callahan Smith, Philip Smith II, Anaya Staples, Olivia Streitmatter, Alex Shazender, Katie Tejeda, Javon Thomas, Anna Thompson, Nicole Thompson, Journey Tollerson, Nia Valdez, Kelly Van Etten, Kelsey West, Jack Williams, David Winnicky, and Sophia Upel.
We will now welcome this year's candidates into the National Honor Society. The 4 qualities possessed by National Honor Society members are encompassed by the eternal light of knowledge. It is this quest for knowledge that we are trying to encourage and develop in the 4 qualities of the National Honor Society. Through character, we are trying to foster knowledge of self and confidence in our personal beliefs and values. Through scholarship, we are trying to develop a knowledge and desire for continued learning throughout life. Through leadership and service, we are trying to encourage knowledge of social responsibility to others and their needs, as well as the courage to stand up for our beliefs. It is this light of knowledge that we pass on now to our new members of the Homewood Flossmoor High School chapter of the National Honor Society. The inductees will now recite the pledge after me. It can be found on page 8 of the PDF NHS Induction Ceremony program. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been elected. I will maintain and encourage high standards of character, scholarship, leadership, and service. We will now call the names of our new inductees. Savannah Abajian, Nevin Adams, Ayomide Ajayi, Jasmine Alfred, Janet Amu, Charlie Anderson, Jillian Arnold, Samuel Ayadiran, Simone Bester, Drew Bingham, Peyton Black, Taylor Branch, Alyssa Brigham, Chandler Calhoun, Jada Cardine, Natalia Carpio, Michael Cassidy, Taryn Cobbs, Declan Dolan, Patrick Donahue, Anya Dowell, Simone Dubois.
Brendan A. Hart, Alexandria Edison, Natalie Elfner, Marshall Ellis, Kyla Emery, Terry Evans, Grace Gallus, Ethan Gamble, Adriana Grant, David Gebeck, Mark Gislason, Will Goldberg, Randall Gray, Aria Harrell, Adira Harris, Jasmine Harris, Xavier Harrison, Quinlan Henry, Sophia Hennage, Kirsten Johnson, Sydney Jones, Holden Jones.
Emmanuel Key, Asha Kidd, Jacqueline Klubchek, Jeanette Kowalski, Carter Langston, Layla Lanier, Aaron Latman, Brienne LeBlanc, Faith Lee, Lauren Legendary, Taylor Leslie, Alana Lloyd, Daryl Love, Kyra Lucas, Amelia Ludstrom, Edith Luenga, Grace Mahoney, Sienna Malfeo, Mia Martin, Raymond Martinez Jr.
Jackson Mason, Hannah McGowan, Ella Michelle, Michaela Miller, Ella Mott, Rowan Moxley, Deja Murphy, Emma Murphy, Chloe Nesbitt, Cecilia Nix, Sanaya Parks, Nicolette Parrott, Queen Patterson, Rachel Payton, Mary Ramos, Lyric Robinson, Danielle Robinson, Isabella Romans, Olivia Rose, Natalie Russell.
Charlotte Sampson, Samantha Sexton, Zora Shannon, Jaden Sharp, Tripp Schonkweiler, Brooklyn Spencer, Khalil Spike, Keisha Togum, Russell Waddell, Zanaya Walker, Rachel Washburn, Leah Watson, Jory Williams, Aaron Williams, Jakir Wills, Ellie Wojciechowski, Winton Wright, and Rachel Yast.
Congratulations and welcome to the Homewood Flossmoor High School chapter of the National Honor Society.
Thank you, officers. Congratulations to our new members. I'm disappointed that I haven't had the opportunity to meet you in person yet, but I am looking forward to meeting you when we can safely meet. Once school is back in session in the traditional format, we will have a meeting and you will receive official certificates, NHS spirit wear, so specifically you'll receive NHS polo shirts and a hoodie and a t-shirt. And then also a hard copy of today's program. So you'll have that as a memento of the occasion. So in the meantime, what I'm going to ask you to do is make sure that you have joined the NHS Google Classroom for 2020-2021. I will be putting all of my announcements on there. Even though the school year is coming to an end, I will need a new executive board. And I will also need some junior and senior representatives. So applications for that will be made on the classroom, and I will be making announcements for that for when we're ready to do so. So we will still have elections, even though it'll be in a digital format. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple weeks. And I look forward to meeting all of you. And if you have not already registered, please do so on 8-18 for NHS. That will allow Ms. Smith to put you on the official roster. So once again, thank you, congratulations, and I look forward to meeting you.
I would like to give special thanks to our school board members, especially Mr. President Steve Anderson, our superintendent, Dr. Vaughn Mansfield, our principal, Dr. Jerry Anderson, and our interim athletic director, Gail Smith, and our interim activities director, Matthew Like. Their help was crucial to making this evening a success. This concludes this evening's program. Congratulations to both our seniors and our new inductees.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
guys.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Good job. Congrats, guys.
Thank you for everything.